alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport. TalkSport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it.
In fact, we've got enough rugby, cricket, horse racing, boxing, motor racing and golf for an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping it now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for 6. TalkSport 2.
Got that to a ball and he's bowled him. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Hard tackling live Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of steel.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio. We're supposed to be tough.
Serving up live ATP Masters Series tennis.
And Andy Murray, with his head in his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. TalkSport 2.
Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. TalkSport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it,
Bowl it.
pass it, putt it, pot it, or catch it. You'll find it right here on TalkSport 2.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it too?
TalkSport 2, because sport never stops. We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
Far, Selhurst Park this season, just 3 wins here so far this season, with 7 draws and 5 losses. So they'll be hoping to set that right today, because it's going to be business end of the season. I've heard that a million times before. It's getting serious this time. Just a couple of points separate these teams. So as we go into it, they are neck and neck, 13th, 14th position. Newcastle played an extra game and 3 points ahead of them. So the goal difference is just -1 in Newcastle's favour as well. Crystal Palace have been pretty dominant in the defensive situation. Just conceded 35, Newcastle 45. But Crystal Palace finding it hard to score goals, just 33, one of the lowest so far this season. Only worse by Wolves and Nottingham Forest, if I'm not mistaken, and Sunderland, of course. So they do need to find how they can score goals. They brought in Strand Larsen to try and rectify that. He didn't to do it overnight, so let's see if he can kick things off today. A win here, though, would put Crystal Palace up into 13th position, of course, with a game in hand over Newcastle, and just a fair few points behind Chelsea, so they'll be breathing down Chelsea's next. They're playing against Manchester City a little bit later today, so Crystal Palace in touching distance there. There's a fair few points between them and Tottenham, who are currently occupying 18th position, so they'll be hoping to make sure they give themselves a bit of breathing space there. But have a look at how the two teams are lining up for today's fixture. Starting off with Crystal Palace, it's Mr. Henderson in goal with Canvaux, Lacroix and Richards in defence. So a couple of French boys and an American as the defensive line for Crystal Palace. Mitchell, Will Hughes, Lerma and Munoz in midfield. 2 wing-backs there in the space of Mitchell and Munoz, very, very attacking to full-backs. We've seen them up and down those flanks, which will be good to see. The whole game, high energy levels with Pino, Larson and Brennan Johnson in the forward 3 for Crystal Palace. Almost matching them for shape, Newcastle United, Aaron Ramsdale in goal, with Hall, Botman, Thiaw and Livramento in defence, playing the flat back 4. Tonali, Jolinton and Lewis Miley returning from injury in midfield, with Gordon, Ursula and Murphy in front 3. Plenty of options on the bench as well for Newcastle: Harvey Barnes, Dan Burney, Langa, Pope, Ramsey, Trippier, Willock, Visser and Altamada. Very, very strong bench there. Plenty of options for Eddie Howe to call upon. Crystal Palace, Deveni, Klein, Benitez, Kamada, Mateta. So Mateta scoring during the week. Penalty though, first time he scored in a while. Riyad, Ibrahim Assar, Zoza and Adam Porter. Plenty of options on both benches. Should not be going in Glasner or Eddie Howe's favour, should we say. Crystal Palace have been in relatively decent form of late, particularly in Europe, where they've found their way with a very, very preferable situation as they now find their way over to Florence to play against Fiorentina in the next round in this coming week. So they played that game on Thursday, I think it was, where they won 3-0 here at Selhurst Park. Prior to that, they had a 3-week break. It's been quite the respite for them since they last played against Larnaca in the Europa League as well. The last Premier League game was way back on the 15th of March against Leeds United. So all the cup games and stuff, it ended up giving them a bit of a break, so they'll be ready for that. Prior to that, they beat Tottenham 3-1 at the White Hart Lane. Or this Tottenham, it's not White Hart Lane anymore, is it? Tottenham Stadium, whatever they call it these days. In this fixture though, Crystal Palace do not fare too well against Newcastle United. Just one win in their last 9 competitive games in the Premier League, with Newcastle triumphing on 4 occasions. So neither team dominates this. In recent history, it has been more Newcastle fixture. They're playing their green kit today, playing from right to left, and they are in action already. Livramento, very interesting fullback combination. Will they represent England at the World Cup? Hall and Livramento, they're very good players. Crystal Palace with the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box for Newcastle already, trying to whip that into the middle. It's cut out and cleared. The second attempt by Miley. Crystal Palace go all the way back to Henderson in goal. With Botman, he's wearing a face mask today. Still coming his way back from injury. Henderson, the ball at his feet. It's a packed Selhurst Park. The sun is shining. It's very, very windy in London. Long ball up top, cleared by Chow. Jolinton in the middle, pushing that ball up into the air. Bouncing around a little bit. Botman on his heels. Finds Hall on the left-hand side. Tonali comes deep, all the way back to the Ramsdale in goal. Ramsdale goes long searching ball, looking for Gordon. Not willing to challenge Lacroix there. He lets Lacroix clear the ball quite easily. Crystal Palace driving forward though, they're cutting their way through the middle of the Newcastle midfield, but the ball finds its way to Richards. Richard immediately applies the pressure. Larimer picks up the ball, over to Hughes. Preferred over Wharton today, I guess, given a bit of a mix to their normal lineup team for Crystal Palace. Probably half an eye on the midweek fixture against Fiorentina. Their best chance for some silverware this year. Quite a successful season last year, didn't they? Even the Community Shield this year. Crystal Palace, ball inside their own half, being chased down by Osula. Newcastle haven't been doing too well in the league lately themselves, to be fair. They really struggled. They lost 2-1 against Sunderland. That one hurt. Last time out in the Premier League. Prior to that was a 7-2 smashing at Camp Nou, which sealed their exit from the Champions League, of course. They did beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on the 14th of March, a few weeks back now. Prior to that, defeat to Manchester City, but way back. Newcastle very slow at the blocks today. Looking a bit lethargic. Botman ball at his feet. Plays it over to Yao. Yao goes long. Looking for... Oh, isn't fair either. No, from the far side. Crystal Palace just taking the sting out of the attack, slowing things down a bit. They're basking in the sunshine. Newcastle half is still covered by the stadium. Crystal Palace are playing in the sun now, keeping warm. Ball changing possession very quickly. Crystal Palace gave it away, and 3 seconds later they won it back. Hughes driving forward, always found some space on this left-hand side. It's Pino. Pino finds Lerma. Still closing down the angles quite quickly. Munoz on this right-hand side. Richards trying to swap sides. Needs to be a bit quicker though. They keep passing it backwards instead of forwards. Going back once again onto the halfway line now. So Newcastle's shape really holding well. Allowed him up, picks up the loose ball in the middle. No option, so he goes back to Richards. Newcastle now a bit of breathing space, a bit of space between the lines for Crystal Palace to try and exploit, but Lewis Miley giving chase, really pushing the defenders all the way back. Canvo, all the way back to Henderson now. So from the edge of the box all the way back to the goalkeeper. And Henderson has launched this up the pitch, hopefully aiming for Strand Larsen there, but evades his head. All the way back to Ramsdale it goes. Ramsdale toying with Johnson, toying with him. He had the ball at his feet outside the penalty area. He quickly turns around and dribbles the ball into the penalty area and picks it up. Safety first. Botman. It's not Ramsdale. Crystal Palace chasing down Ramsdale here. The right side of the Newcastle half. They're making them really fight for territory. Threads it down the line. Joe Linton. Joe Linton feeds it in towards... Oh, he's picked it up. Osula. Osula's bursting towards the goal. Cut out there. It was Canvo, I think it was, who managed to use his pace there to squeeze inside and just nip the ball off Osula's toes. He was bearing down on goal there. He was throwing it quite a pace. One thing in his mind, and that was to get within shooting distance, but Canvo got back and done that very competently. Ball cleared into Newcastle's half. Botman now on the ball. Crystal Palace in retreat mode. Not applying any pressure, no high line. Breaking ranks now. Pino making Newcastle work a little bit harder to keep that ball. Ball's passed all the way back to Henderson. Crystal Palace just sneaking there on the loose ball and smashes it all the way back to Henderson. But Newcastle are very quick to close down. The ball is launched up top. Larsen gets on the ball. It's Pino who's waiting for that ball to bounce down. He's bouncing awkwardly, couldn't get it. Manages to find some space, finds Will Hughes. Will Hughes onto Munoz on this right hand side. Hall charges it down. The blocked cross finds its way through to Joe Linton. Joe Linton picks out Lewis Hall again. Lewis Hall calmly plays it into the middle for Tonali. Always an option. Ooh. Botman tried to play it out from the back there. Cut out by Hughes. Trying to find Joe Linton in the middle. Bit too obvious, bit too easy for Hughes to just pick up, but the ball rolls out for a throw anyway. Lewis Hall with the ball in his hands, just in line with the 18-yard box. 7 minutes on the clock, not been a single shot on target yet, or a single shot on goal even, never mind on target. A midfield battle so far, both teams lackadaisical with possession. Hall has fired this all the way over, looking for Miley. Lerma picks out the ball though. Might we see our first shot on goal here? Nope. Crystal Palace retreating once again, letting all the Newcastle players reshape. Over to Johnson it comes. Hughes. Johnson looking for the ball in the middle again. Nope. Whipped in towards the back post, but goalkeeper very safe hands. There's no real Crystal Palace players near that one, so very comfortable for Ramsdale. Tonali. Miley. Livramento. Over it goes to Hall. Swapping sides very quickly there. Keep Crystal Palace on the toes. They're still trying to reshape. Botman. Last under a bit of pressure, but no. Newcastle finding their way through the middle. Bit of space. I think it's Miley who managed to make some space for himself. On the ball again. To Thiaw. Over to Hall. Ball sweeping sides of the pitch quite quickly. Gordon finds some space, gets around Munoz. He's tackled from behind. Free kick to Newcastle United. Munoz desperately trying to prevent Gordon from escaping him. He just jinxed past him and then kneed him in the back of the thigh. It was a very lazy tackle. The referee sees the funny side of it. No yellow card on this occasion. Gordon seems to be up and okay. He's not complaining too much either. But it is a free kick to Newcastle. Relatively dangerous positions, 30-40 yards out. Decent angle to whip something in. And whip this towards the goalkeeper, in swing up. And just get somebody on the end of it. That would be very, very testing. Tonali standing over the ball. He's left it for Hall. Hall's whipped it. It's an outswinger though. Finds the face of Botman. He's wearing a face mask today, and whether that impeded his vision, don't know, but he did head it into the ground. Tonali on the half volley, trying to get back into the area, but Crystal Palace repel that ball. Brennan Johnson giving chase for Livramento. Livramento down the right hand side. Dinked over the top by Murphy. It's a very, very Sexy 1-2 there, but didn't find its intended target. And Crystal Palace just lump it up the pitch, clear it all the way through to Ramsdale. It goes, whose throw was very wild. I think he tried to find the feet of Botman, but that was about 10 yards away from where it needed to be. Fortunately, no Crystal Palace players around. Botman could just pick up the loose ball. But that's a bit wild by Ramsdale. Botman over to Thiaw, far right inside. Ramsdale under pressure now. He's got Strand Larsen closing him down. Crystal Palace breaking ranks to drive forward. Hall under a bit of pressure. Munoz. Gordon trying to anticipate that ball getting past Richards, but Richards does well to intercept the ball and drive it forward, out for a throw-in in the Newcastle left corner flag. Lewis Hall with ball in his hands. And straight down the line. Looking for Gordon. Richards outmuscles him, gets in the better position, heads that up. Munoz 1-2 around the back of Hall. No, Hall's having none of that, cuts it out. Ball under control, feeds it into Botman, who lumps up the pitch. Jostle going there with Osula. Nudge by Munoz on Hall, so free kick to Newcastle United. All in good spirits though. Handshake between the two players after the foul. Good to see, competitive but fair. Free kick to Newcastle, still to be taken. Hall back to Botman. Botman just bringing this ball forward, edging forward slowly. Over goes to Livramento. Thiaw plays that ball down the line. Murphy tried to flick it on towards Osula. If he just left it though, Osula would have got the end of that one, I feel. Ooh, Henderson colliding with Lacroix. That's interesting. Lacroix was trying to run behind him and Henderson was going to go kick it and they got tangled up together. Wow, the wind has just taken that goal kick all the way through to Ramsdale. It didn't look like Henderson kicked it that hard, but the wind got hold of that and took it all the way down to the other end of the pitch. Maybe you can utilise that. Crystal Palace, next goal kick, just stay on side and keep you offside from the goal kick. Do you think that? Or just stay up top. Ball falls kindly to Newcastle in Crystal Palace's half. Played in some space, Tonali. Miley into Murphy. Murphy whips it into the middle, looking for Jolinton. It's the first corner kick of the game. Cleared by Lacroix. Sliding interception there. I think Jolinton was just about to control that ball. Maybe first time strike towards goal, but it's whipped in with pace. But Richards and Lacroix in between there. Murphy with a very, very decent ball, tantalising into the middle. Jolinton, I think he knew it was second best that one. Didn't even make an effort to get to it. So it's a corner kick to Newcastle. I think it's Hall standing over it. He's not cleared the first man. Awful corner. Newcastle trying to get that ball off Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace were driving towards goal. I think it's Pino. On a free kick. Very good tight control. He had three Newcastle players around and managed to worm his way out. And it was Miley who came in and knocked. It looks like it wasn't a foul at all, to be honest, from Miley. Decent tackle. Pino takes a dive. Referee's fallen for it. That was a good tackle by Miley. Maybe a foul pulled back from before that because there's a bit of a tangle of legs before that. So it was the high foot from Jolinton on Hughes, but Hughes stooped to make that header. Comes away unscathed. Crystal Palace with the ball on the halfway line, just inside Newcastle's half now. A little intricate 1-2 on that far side with Mitchell. Unable to get on the right side of Murphy though. Murphy uses his body to block it and then draws the foul. Newcastle United with another free kick. No one really wants to take it though. They've all walked away from the ball. I guess they're waiting for Ramsdale to come up. Still not taking this free kick. Tonali standing over it, but it's a bit pointless to be fair. All the way back to Ramsdale it goes. Botman over to Hall. He's got a bit of space now. Johnson is desperately trying to get back though to apply a bit of pressure. Ball is fed that through beautifully to Osula. Osula picks up that ball. He's got control of it now. Oh, he's just been kicked in the knees, I think. But he's managed to get the ball to Jolinton. Jolinton took too much time, and Munoz goes back, and it goes to Chow. Jolinton picks up the ball this time on the left-hand side to Hall. Ball flicks it through. Oh, it's just in behind Jolinton. He ran a bit beyond it. Lerma through the legs of Jolinton, but Jolinton gets back and recovers that ball. Back to Botman it goes. Very patchy in the middle. Both teams winning and losing the ball. Tonali way back in defence, helping out, looking for the ball to feet. Surrounded by Crystal Palace players, but super confident, very capable. Always good to have one of those players on your team. Who can pick up the ball in dangerous positions. Finds Osula on the edge of the box. Livramento offside. Looks like Osula managed to hold up that ball quite nicely, but I think he's offside anyway. I think there's calls of a handball, even he controlled the ball with his hand, but Osula's trying to protest with the referee, but he's accepted his fate in the end. Crystal Palace take the free kick. Canville over to Mitchell. Mitchell tries to force it down the line to Larson. He's cut out. Not for throwing. Canville. Into Pino. Pino. Back it goes to Lerma. Hughes overcomes to Richards. Newcastle applying pressure really high up the pitch, hoping to win that ball, and they've done so. Osula on the edge of the 18-yard box to Tonali. Tonali very quickly tries to feed it through to Gordon. I think it's Hughes or Lerma who managed to get a foot on that one. It deflects all the way through to the goalkeeper. Safe hands. That was a dangerous situation. Newcastle winning the ball relatively high up the pitch. Crystal Palace a bit out of shape. Unfortunately, the ricochet from the block finds its way through to the goalkeeper. Newcastle do find themselves with the ball again though. All the way back in defence though. Advantageous position this time. Chow. Botman. The Dutchman and the German linking up nicely back there. Richards very nicely done there. He let the ball roll past himself, across his body, opened up the space for him. Newcastle players were completely caught off guard there, but Crystal Palace now dinking that ball towards the back post, looking for Munoz. Oh, Hughes doesn't control that ball. He's on the back of Gordon now. Gordon's back there helping to tidy up. Does very well. Miley launched this over the top. Needs to have more angle on that ball. That ball needs to be towards the left channel. I think it's Hall who is bursting forwards, or Sula too. But Richards tidies up nicely. Lacroix feeds it in very comfortably to Johnson. Johnson linking up with Munoz. Johnson driving down this right hand side now. It's on the right side of Hall. It's fed into the middle. Larson, I think it hits off his knee. Tonali, Jolinton. Livramento pushed to the far right hand side. Still in their own half though, Newcastle. Going all the way back to the goalkeeper. He's under a bit of pressure here. He needs to get rid of that ball. Newcastle comfortably deal with it. Hall launched this up the pitch. He's aiming for Osula, I think. Osula's giving chase. Ball is staying in play. Lacroix feeds it back to Henderson. Henderson. Ball finds him. Over to Canville. Ball goes out for throwing. Crystal Palace win the ball back from the throw and launch up the pitch. It's a tangle between Larson and Tiao. Referee tells him to get on with it. Waves it on. Mr. Madley in the middle today. Not too much to deal with so far. Just a couple of free kicks. He's handled it well so far. Except for the Miley foul. I don't think that's a foul. Livramento on the far right side finds Miley. Lots of good English players on display as well. So if Tuchel is watching, going to scout for Gordon, Miley, Murphy, Hall, Ramsdale, Livramento, Henderson, Hughes, Mitchell. Still needs to build his World Cup squad. Fair few of these will have their place on the World Cup plane, I'm sure. party though for everybody else. Livramento with a throw-in. Tried to go long. Gone long. Decent throw on him. Tonali heads it back in. Botman knobs it down. Oh, the ball is in the middle. Osula is just on the wrong side of the defender. Pick up the ball on the far right hand side of Livramento play. The shins of the players. Easy to clear. Tussle with Crystal Palace. Mitchell wins the ball on the far side, left hand side. Finds Larson, finds Hughes. Hughes coming forward now, ball at his feet. Carrying the ball quite nicely. Finds Lerma. Mitchell. Interchange with Lerma. 20 minutes on the clock. Still no real attempt on goal. I don't think there's been any attempt on goal, has there? Check now. Let's check the stats. Zero for Crystal Palace and 0.05 expected goals for Newcastle. Apparently there's been a shot on goal for Newcastle. I don't remember that. Crystal Palace, ball in their own half. Anthony Gordon closing down Richards. Richardson launches off the pitch, trying to find a space in between the centre-backs. Larson quick to react to it, but unable to stop the ball rolling the way through to Ramsdale. With the Wingens, be careful those passes, take a little bit off it, but hard to judge, especially if it's in gusts. Ramsdale nearly closed down by Munoz. Thiaw helps out. Newcastle did play that ball quite smoothly on that far side. Osula holding it up perfectly. Over it comes to Gordon. Gordon has two players overlapping on the left. There's no Crystal Palace players here. Joelinton. Gordon cuts inside. He tries to strike the ball, but it's cut down by, I think it's Hughes who got back there. Crystal Palace defender. Very nice. So that's the first real chance for Newcastle. Everything got opened up for them on this left-hand side. It's Gordon bearing down towards goal. Used Joelinton and Hall as decoys as he cut inside. And that's where the traffic was. And all of a sudden, it's blocked. So his teammates will be having a word with him there because he didn't score. They're able to question him. If he'd scored though, they've been all forgiven. Johnson down on the deck. It's his ankle, he's holding his ankle. Flexing his toes. It's been pain. Johnson's had a problematic season so far. He's signed from Tottenham Hotspur for a lot of money. He's not really hit the levels that we'd have expected because he was very capable goal scorer for Tottenham last season. With 11 goals for Spurs last season in 33 games. But since signing for Crystal Palace, he's not scored. He's not in the league. Or in the Cup. Or the International Cup, so yeah, he's not scored. Just a few quid though. 40 million euros. It's a lot of money. Making a 15 million euro loss on that though. He bought from Nottingham Forest a couple of years earlier. Johnson might be able to continue here. They do have Saad on the bench who is stripped and ready to go. Maybe Johnson feels like he can carry on, not sure, let's see. That's what the physio says. Glasner with a decision to make. It seems like Saad's still warming up, so giving Johnson the opportunity at least to prove himself. Make sure he's not injured. But he's been struggling so far. He's not had an impact at all in this game. Ball on his left hand side. Johnson still off the pitch, threads it through. Gordon should have given Joelinton a shout there. He had so much time and space, but Joelinton decides to play it first time into Hall. Tonali whips the ball over to the far side. Livramento feeds it into Murphy. Murphy tries to cross, bounces off his heels. Second cross is blocked now for a throw in to Newcastle United. I guess we'll see Livramento go over and try and hurl this into the penalty area. Seems like a lot of players work on their long throw technique. Might prove useful at the World Cup. Livramento gets it into the area, it's flicked on. Oh, it's cut out. Gordon was just on his heels there. Tonali. Hughes heads it clear. Mitchell launched this. He's trying to pick out Pino there. Livramento is back to tidy up though. Over goes to Ramsdale. To Botsman. Might be looking for Hall here. He's looking for an option down the line. He knocks it down the line. He's found Gordon. Gordon is going to get on the end of this one. Oh, he doesn't get on the end of it. Lacroix, a bit too fast. Feeds it up the line towards Hall. Hall and Jolinton linking up nicely, forcing their way backwards those to Botman. Good defender by Lacroix. Very fast. That definitely looked like Gordon. Gordon's no slouch either. But Lacroix beating the foot race quite confidently there. Quite comfortably even. Botman. Stinking this over the top. He's looking for Murphy. Ooh, on the full volley. The goalkeeper clears that ball. Henderson on the volley. The ball was finding its way through. Ooh, Hughes. It's a good tumble. I think the referee obstructed him a little bit. Jolinton was battling with Hughes. He kind of got distracted by the referee. Referee realising that and awarding the free kick to Hughes. Fires it into the feet of Richards. Richards almost controls that one perfectly, but did bounce away. It's quite a bit of a zip on it. Henderson launched it up. He's looking for Strand Larsen. The whole pitch is now covered in sunshine. It's a nice spring sunshine. Ooh, Botman goes straight through the back of Johnson. That's going to hurt. Johnson's aching, holding his shoulder. Oh, big hit. He's up though. Foolish by Botman because it's only going to go one way. I don't know what Botman's going to expect there, but referee awarding the free kick. Johnson going through the wars. He's got holding his ankle earlier. Just got clattered from behind now though. Pino with a free kick. Lining up, all on the edge of the 18-yard box. There's a line of green. Ball is whipped in though. It's got a bit of pace on it. Evades everybody and out for a goal kick. Ramsdale seemed to be on top of that one. He's telling everyone to let it go. Notice there's no threat from any Crystal Palace players. Makes it easy for the defenders if there's a big shout there just to make sure. See them lashing at anything given away in a corner or anything. It's a decent ball by Pino. It's not fade. Let's not lie to ourselves, but no one really taking a gamble to get the back post. It's the kind of thing you work on in the training ground. It's not just a spontaneous thing when you win a free kick in that position. It's supposed to be a game plan. Tonali, Miley, nicely done. The three of them passing that ball quite nicely. Livramento in there too. Passing that ball between the three of them around the Crystal Palace attackers. They have lost the ball now though, but Tonali wins it back. Over comes to Jolinton. On this left-hand side, Gordon let that ball roll. He needs to go to it. A few times he tries to let the ball roll. He's not comfortable going to the ball, is he? He likes to let the ball run into space. Intercepted though, all the way back it goes to Chiao. Murphy tries to flick it around the corner, but Hughes picks up the loose ball. Pino. Canvo in the halfway line. Tries to play it out to Mitchell. Just gone beyond his reach. That's a lot from there. There's a bit of a mix-up between Pino and Mitchell in terms of who's going to get that or not. Leads to a very frustrated Glasner. Both teams really struggling to control this ball. Miley waltzing around, gets clattered from behind. Free kick. Seems to be okay though, he's up. Mitchell holding his knee. I think he's hurt himself by hitting the other position. Mitchell's hobbling still. Tonali. Chow all the way back to Ramsdale. Passing the ball between themselves there. One more, why not? Under pressure now though, he's going to have to get this away. Does that quite a lot where he feeds it all the way through to Botman on the byline of the 18-yard box. Seems to be his outlet. Doesn't like to hit it long, Ramsdale. Hall takes the ball off Jolinton's toes, fires it over to the far right hand side. Livramento cuts back again inside, leaves it for, no, doesn't leave it for Chiao, he takes it on. Livramento is now working his way to the left hand side of the pitch, finds Hall. Botman. Livramento is slowly working his way back over to the right, completely unmarked at the moment. Nice through ball, no, he's gone to the ball. Livramento to the ball. They need to go into some space. Back to Botman. Good spell of possession for Newcastle, but not really going anywhere with it, to be fair. Just kind of going around in circles, sideways and backwards. Newcastle for Botman. Crystal Palace just let them have the ball here. They're in no real danger. Don't seem to be fretting about anything. Joelinton into the feet of Miley. Back it goes to Anthony Gordon, who's dropped super deep to pick up the ball. He's way in his own half. Try and shuffle things up a little bit. The ball finds Osula on the edge of the 18-yard box, so they did find some territory quite quickly. Osula battling with 2 Crystal Palace players over there. He's got Livramento for support now. 3 Crystal Palace players. Completely outnumbered there. Win the throw in though. Livramento with another long throw, I guess. Gordon takes it short though. To Tonali. Crystal Palace players all behind the ball now in their own penalty area, basically. So struggling to find a creative spark to break Crystal Palace down. Botman, closed down by Hughes. Let's go back to Ramsdale. Back to Botman. Over comes to Hall. Now he's got some space. He's running over the halfway line. Ball is threaded through, but no one is on the same wavelength. He has Joelinton, he has Osula there. Neither of them willing to make that run. Osula's arguing with Hall, saying, hey, feed it in towards goal. But there's a defender there, Osula. You need to run into the channels, my man. That's where the space was. Gordon closing Richards down, but Richards launches it. It's found Strand Larsen. Pino. Over comes to Canvo. Canvo into. I try to find Mitchell. Cut up by Livramento. Out for a goal. Throw and goes. Livramento with a throw. Johnson's still on the pitch. Looked like he's going to go off injured before, but seems to have recovered. Not really been effective either, so some decision for the manager to see if he's worth keeping out there or not. Ball into the feet of Gordon. Gordon can't control it, bobbles around a bit. Richards picks up the loose ball, fires it up the pitch, trying to find Strand Larsen, but only one man going to win that one. That is Botman. It's closest to him. Very poor standard of football so far. Both teams just really struggling to create anything. Long searching ball to the far right hand side. Don't know who he was aiming for, but yeah, Botman miscued that one massively because there's not a single Crystal Palace anywhere near it. Out for a throw-in. Frustrating afternoon for both teams so far. Oh, Miley's nipped in there and stolen that ball. That's Livramento. Gives it away though. Been plenty of that so far today. Both teams are winning the ball relatively freely, but struggling to make anything of it when they do get it. Chiao. All the way back it goes to Botman. Back to Ramsdale. It's 33 minutes on the clock, and yeah, nothing real noteworthy from either team. Johnson with the ball finds Pino on the edge of the 18-yard box. He shapes to shoot. He's turned it around. It's been parried by Ramsdale. Munoz with the strike. It's saved again by Ramsdale. Double save by Ramsdale. First of all from Pino and then from Osula from the rebound. Ramsdale more than equal to it on this occasion, so Johnson feeds it into Pino. Pino just cuts inside from Chiao, strikes from distance. Ramsdale palms it away. Scurries to try and cover the near post. He's now shouting at the defenders for not closing down Pino, but that's not too bad. Maybe Ramsdale could have done better with that because it did fall straight to Munoz from that right back position. So ball into the area, headed into the penalty area. Yeah, Ramsdale quick off his line to pick that one up. Ramsdale feeds it to Livramento. Crystal Palace asking the first questions of Ramsdale. He answers it. He answers both of them even. First real attempts on goal coming 35 minutes on the clock.